Hey class, Mrs. Gilling back here again for your Unit 2 video assignment, and this one is all about your first project, applying the scientific method. Before we talk about your project though, you know what's coming, the joke of the unit. Alright, a client comes for his first therapy session. He has a small cucumber up his nose, a carrot in his left ear, and a banana in his right. Can you help me figure out what's wrong with me? He asks the therapist. The therapist replies, "You're not eating properly." Get it? Because you don't eat by putting those things where you put them. Alright, let's talk about your projects now. Okay, here's some background. This project is your chance to imagine being a psychological scientist. Imagine you have made an observation in your everyday life. After arguing with your sister, none of you do that, right? Okay, I did. After arguing with your sister, you seem to calm down more quickly when sitting in your living room. Your living room is painted blue, and you recall that blue is supposed to be a calming color. Is this true? You want to find out for yourself if people feel calmer after seeing the color blue. You want to find the answer to this question. Does the color blue make people feel calmer? So your project is all about trying to think about the scientific method and think about, is there a way to take that question, create an experiment, and see if the color blue actually makes people feel calmer. Here's what you're going to do. So in the first step, you're going to answer two multiple choice questions revolved around the scientific method. This is super simple. It's going to come up kind of like any workbook or checkpoint would. You're just going to click the answers. So the first question, in order, what are the 4 steps involved in the scientific method? And the second question you're going to answer is, what is systematic replication? It's okay, you might not know what those are right now. You'll learn them throughout the unit, but those are the questions. I don't care if you go back and look through course material to find the answers. This isn't a test. This is just about making sure you understand the information. So that's the first part of step 1. The second part of step 1 is that you'll have 2 short essay questions. The first question you're going to answer. Your research question is, does the color blue make people feel calmer? Using what you have learned regarding the scientific method, explain in 2 to 3 sentences what your hypothesis will be for your research question and how you could test your hypothesis. So in those 2 to 3 sentences, write down, this is my hypothesis, or this is what I think is going to happen, and this is the test I'm going to use to figure out if my hypothesis is accurate or not. The second question is, in 2 to 3 sentences, describe how you could ensure your test will have external validity. In other words, how can you kind of apply your test in a different situation and have the outcome still be valid? The second step is just 2 short essay questions. Again, this one doesn't have any multiple choice, it's just the essay questions. So number 1, imagine that you tested 20 high school students, 15 male, 5 female. 12 males and 4 females reported feeling a calming effect after exposure to the color blue. In 2 to 3 sentences, explain what conclusions could be drawn from this information. So look at the information, analyze it, and say, this is what we can conclude based on that information. The second question, imagine that you tested 20 high school students, 15 male, 5 female. 12 males and 4 females reported feeling a calming effect after exposure to the color blue. In 2 to 3 sentences, explain how you could repeat this test in a different way to prove that the design was internally valid and reliable. So explain how you could do the test kind of a different way to show that the information is correct. It's reliable, it's valid, and those are 2 terms you're going to learn about this unit, and that will make sense, I promise. But it's really a pretty simple project, pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of crazy things that you have to do for it, but it is a good one to help you apply the things that you're learning, to help you understand the scientific method, to help you analyze information, to help you take that information and be able to explain it to somebody else in simple terms. 2 to 3 sentences for each one is all you have to use. This is how you will be graded. So first, grammar. I want you to make sure you're using correct spelling and punctuation and writing complete sentences. So it's important for you to double check. If you're a psychologist and you're turning in a research paper, if you have a lot of errors, people wouldn't take you very seriously, right? And so you're pretending to be a psychologist right now. You want to make sure that you're getting your spelling right, your grammar looks good, your punctuation, and complete sentences. Please don't just put bullet points. Let's put these in sentences. You'll be graded on completeness. Did you address all parts of each prompt? So if it says, tell me what your hypothesis is and how you will test it. Make sure you do both those things. Tell me your hypothesis, then tell me how you will test it. If it says why, make sure you answer why. Don't just say what happened, and then say why. So make sure you're complete. And then the last thing we grade on is accuracy. Are your statements correct? Can they be backed up by things that you learned about in your readings about what each of those topics represent? It always helps to include that information. Just say, this is what I would do and this is why. And that why would really help back it up. If you're confused about something, you could pull in information from the reading, be like, I read this and that's why I think this is true. Just make sure that you're being accurate. On your projects, I do allow up to 3 attempts. And so if you don't get the grade you want the first time, I can definitely reset it for you, give you some feedback, and you can fix whatever you need to fix. But kind of a fun project, a good one to think about. It'll be interesting to see what you guys think about the color blue and the hypotheses that you come up with. But if you have any questions, like always, let me know. If not, we will just catch you guys next time. Thanks so much. Hope you're having a great week.